Hello friends, welcome to your own YouTube channel Achievers Data Engineering. My name is Gyani and in this video of Power BI tips and tricks, we are going to talk about one of the interesting feature which has been recently added by Microsoft in Power BI. So let me introduce you to this. If you are banging your head because of back and forth request by client for changing maybe same visual on a single report, or maybe if you have multiple in readers of your report and everyone is coming up with his own preferred view that he want to see in that report. For example, someone want to maybe a bar chart instead of donor chart, or maybe someone is expecting to see maybe a clustered column chart. Rest of the things, right? So it's kind of a really confusing thing which visual to finalize while publishing the report. So here is a solution for you. Now, with help of this newly added feature, you can let your reader, your report end user give an access where he can change the type of visual that he would be seeing. So maybe if this donor chart is appearing when you have published, he will be able to change it maybe to the column chart, or maybe other kind of visuals which are available in Power BI. And you won't have to give him additional access. He won't be going into edit mode. He will just go ahead and edit this report for this particular visual within his own Power BI services, and he will be able to save it for his preferred view. So enough of talking, let's actually see how can we achieve this in Power BI. Let's get started. All right, guys. So now I'm on a Power BI report. So that one report I have already published without that feature, and the copy of same report I have published with that feature. So talking about the first report, so if I go ahead and click on or select any visual on this report, we get only those usual options to pin, to create a copy, or to turn it into a focus mode. But we do not get to see that option where we can change or modify this visual. Whereas if I go on another copy of report, I see an additional icon that says personalize this visual. Now, at this point of time, as an end user, if I am getting to see this report and getting to see this icon, I can go ahead and click on this. And now, if I want to change this donut chart to any other available chart from Power BI, I can go ahead and select and change it. So, for example, right now I want to change it to a stack bar chart. I can go ahead and change it easily. Along with this, I can also see these options. So maybe I can go ahead and change this data, or if I want to add any field, so based upon whatever fields I have, or based upon whatever model we have published, so a number of fields and any DAX that we have prepared, everything would be open by default to the end user, and he would be able to add depending upon his requirement. Now, as you can see, so these options will be available for the user, but one point is to be noted that in case end user end up having a particular DAX or particular column that doesn't meant for this particular chart, and he might messed up everything, then in that situation he might come up with some more questions. So to avoid that, Power BI has given some additional feature that is called report reader's perspective, and in that situation we can limit the amount of data that user would be seeing at this point of time over here. So this file I have published as it is without creating any reader's perspective, and that's why I can see all of the columns or measures that I have created, and everything is available over here. Now, anytime a user can, if he has messed up on a particular visual and he want to go back on the default view, he can change this reset button and it would be saved on a default view. Now coming back to that bar chart again. Now let's think of a situation where user have created this view and now he want to save this. So by default, there would be no option to save because he won't be seeing this edit option, because uh, I have developed and published this report. That's why these options are available for me. But for end user, these options will not be available. So in that situation, he can go ahead and click on bookmarks and he can click on add a personal bookmark. Now here comes some kind of education part. So whenever you are publishing your report, maybe you can set up a meeting or create a set of document where you can educate your end customer. So it kind of a one-time activity. And once he would know that, he can go ahead and whatever changes he has done, he can save it as a bookmark. So for example, let's save it as my view. Now, before saving this view, user will also get this option that says make a default view. So if I try to save it with a default view, for example, and go ahead and save it, now, let's go back. So, for example, let me refresh this report so that I'm assuming that I am coming back on this report another day or maybe some other time. So because this view was saved as a default view for the user and he saved it as a default view, that's why this came up as a preferred view or the first view. But still, if user want to see the original view that was posted by any developer, then he can click on reset to default and he will be able to see the original view of the report which was published. But still, he can go on bookmark and go back to his bookmark that he saved. Now, this is the feature that actually Power BI has introduced and kind of a pretty cool through which we can save a lot of time where we are getting too many requests by the clients to change the visual depending upon the situation. Now, how can actually we create it? For that, now let's jump back to the Power BI report and so that we can see that from the beginning. All right, guys. So now I'm on a Power BI report. So I have actually created a third copy of same report. Now at this point of time, you can see that there is no such icon appearing where we can switch the visual when we are on the desktop application. So how can we enable that? First of all, go on the file, click on options and settings and click on options. Now, under options, scroll down to the bottom and under current file, select report settings. Now, in report settings, you will see this option that says personalize visuals. Go ahead and check that and hit OK. Now, at this point of time, you would start seeing this icon on each of visuals that you have in your report that says a personalized visual. Now, now at this point of time, if you will go ahead and publish this report, end user would be able to change all of the visuals that are which are available on this report. Now, before go ahead and publish, let's again think of the situation that when we will publish like this, end user will be exposed to all of the data that we have got in this model. So in my case, actually, I have a single table, but you might be working on a complex data model. You have n number of tables and fields and measures that you have created. And in that situation, end user might be overwhelmed with the number of options available for him, and he might create a mess for a particular visual or maybe on the report. And in that situation, he might kind of end up juggling with couple of columns and those values might not make any sense, and then he will come back to you, okay, I don't know what is happening in this report. So to avoid that, Power BI has introduces one more feature that says so if you go and like if you click on anywhere in the blank page and go on format your report page, you will get to see this new option that says personalized visual, and under that you will see this option that says a report reader perspective. Now what is this perspective? Perspective is nothing but creating a specific data set that would be a data set that we will expose to a customer, right? So we will only include the number of tables or fields that we want to show to the end user, and that is called perspective. Now, so first of all, let's talk about controlling the visual. So by default, this option is available for all of the visuals. So suppose I don't want end user to be able to change these two visual. So I'll go ahead and select the first visual, go into general and under header icons and icon, I'll go ahead and turn this off, this personalize visual button off. And there are rest of the options through which we can actually control these options which are appearing by default on each visual. So at this point of time, I am only turning this one off, and same for this report. And I'll go ahead and click on save. Now let's move to perspective. Now, in order to create perspective, you would need a third-party tool that is a Tabular editor. Now, if you haven't downloaded it, you can go on tabulareditor.com and you can download this from there. Now, once you will download it, it will start appearing under external tools like you can see it right now. Now, at this point of time, if I go ahead and click on Tabular Editor, so in this new window, it will show all the details of a model in this particular report. So in this where it says perspective, go ahead and create a new perspective. I'll name it as, let's say, high level values or high level details actually. All right. Now, once you will go down under tables, here you will be able to see all of the tables which are part of your model and the particular fields. Now, in my case, I have only single table. So in that situation, if you want to add all of the tables or by a single table, you can click on a table and go ahead and click it on show in perspective and select the perspective that you have created, or maybe you can select particular fields as well. So let me go ahead and select these fields. I'll select total sales, sales last year, order quantity, order date, total orders. Now I can go ahead and click on show in perspective and select high level details. Now I can go ahead and click on save to make sure you are clicking on save in Tabular Editor. And once it is saved, close it. And also you need to close this sorry, you need to click on save it as well. Now most of the time it doesn't appear, so once you will save it, so in that situation we need to restart a Power BI file. So let me just go ahead and close it, and I'll restart. All right, so now I have restarted this Power BI report, and now at this point of time, again, we can see that this icon is appearing for these two visuals and not for these two. And also at this point of time, if I go ahead and click on anywhere in the blank space, go into format your report page and under personalize visual, I will be able to see this high level details in a report reader perspective. So I'll go ahead and select this one and hit save. Now, at this point of time, unable to save the document. All right, so let me just, all right. All right, so now it is saved, and now at this point of time, I can so make sure that this one is selected when you have saved this. Now you can go ahead and publish this report on your Power BI services. So let me just go ahead and click on publish. And yes, all right. And let me select the workspace and go ahead and click on publish. And let's wait for the publish. All right, so now if I go ahead and click on open this particular file, again, I have that option where I can change these visuals. Now, if I talk about data, then now you can see when it comes to selecting data, I am able to see. So as a report reader, I'm only able to see the fields that I added in that particular perspective. Now, this is how actually we can control how much data that we can, offer to end user on which he can play around. So now a few key considerations over here is it's not a security, a measure. So you cannot consider it like you are working on controlling data. This is only limited only to control the perspective of user when it comes to changing the visual of particular report. Along with that, while you are creating this perspective, make sure whatever fields or tables you are offering to your end user, they must be connected so that end user will not end up creating with two fields which are not connected by any relationship, and that visual that he will create will not make any sense, right? So make sure you are cognizant enough when you are selecting tables and rows that you are going to offer to the end user. So I hope it has given you a understanding how actually we can go ahead and offer this personalized visual feature to end users, and how can you educate your customer to save this particular wave as a bookmark and use it going forward without affecting the original report or without affecting what other users are seeing. So I hope it has given you enough understanding. And if you like the content, please do not forget to subscribe and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on any latest video that I upload. Thank you for watching. Keep learning. Have a great day.